Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. Well, my guest today is Dr. and she is going to be talking about how to turn cravings into health. And she's also part of the annual Vegan Health Bundle, which is only going to happen for about 2 more days, and she'll tell you all about her product in the bundle. Please welcome Dr. Shobha.
Thank you, Chef AJ. Thank you for having me in your show. I have been on many shows, but by far, this is the best. I
Okay.
don't know how you do it so tirelessly and all throughout the year.
I
So
know. Thank you. I get that a lot. I don't know, it's kind of like exercise. You get in the habit of doing something every day. And in case people aren't familiar with you and your husband and Gift of Health, please feel free to tell our audience who you are because you have been on the show before, once talking about
yes.
acid reflux and once talking about weight loss.
Yes, thank you so much. But first of all, I really want to thank you for providing that hope and inspiration to millions of people out there. And it's such a huge honor to be here. So thank you for those of you who are watching today. And I'm Dr. Shobha Rayapudi. After finishing my medical school and further training, I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to help people to get healthy. So, and as you know, health is the greatest wealth. But unfortunately, we only realize that when we lose it. So we are preset to think that our health is determined by our genes, or as we age, it tends to deteriorate. But seldom do we know that this is actually far from truth. And my quest was always to find, can we lead a disease-free life? And through that process, I discovered that yes, you can lead a disease-free life. And how I discovered this, I know this is another story to tell at a later time. But fast forward 2014, I after seeing the transformative power of what plant-based nutrition can do, I just wanted to scream to the world and to my patients that you do not have to manage the disease, or you do not have to live with disease. Why medicate when you can eradicate? And and the patients would be in disbelief, okay, Dr. Shobha, are you saying that we can reverse our high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, or whatever the chronic conditions that we see nowadays? So there is so much evidence to say that not only you can prevent, but you can also reverse this chronic conditions. So here I am in 2014, thinking that, okay, now I can help my patients to manage their disease. But the current health system, the way it is set up, it it only tries to manage the symptoms or complications without addressing the root cause of the disease. And the way the current health system is set up, it doesn't reward you for reversing the disease. By that, what I mean is I get paid more if I see more patients, if I would prescribe more diagnostic procedures, if I prescribe more pills and more procedures, but I don't get paid enough. If I'm just counseling and telling you how you can change your diet and lifestyle so that you can lead a disease-free life. So despite that, I despite the challenges of being a healthcare professional, I thought, okay, let me just help my patients so that they could reverse their disease. But interesting enough, what I found out is it's not just enough to tell that you can reverse your disease. So as I was sitting in front of my patient, so my patient looks at me and tells, "I'm so confused, doctor." I have been drinking milk from my childhood thinking that it is good for my bones. I have been thinking that meat is a good source of protein, and you're telling me that I should not eat meat because that causes cancer. And you're asking me to give up dairy because that's going to weaken my bones. You're actually asking me to give up the foods that I grew up, and you're asking me to eat that I have avoided all my life. I have avoided carbs thinking that it is going to make me fat. And now you're telling me that it's okay to eat potatoes, it's okay to eat brown rice, it's okay to eat fruits, vegetables, while my other doctor is saying that I need to eat more protein so that I can keep my sugars in check and that I need to avoid carbs. Whom should I believe? And let's say, even if I believe you, I don't know, like how I can make my breakfast, lunch, and supper. I don't know where to find the ingredients. And let's say, even if you give me recipes and I'm going to cook this, my husband is not going to eat this. He loves his pork chops, cheese. He loves his food, and my kids are so picky. They're not going to eat this. And my mother-in-law thinks that I'm not a good cook, and she doesn't like whatever I cook. And all day long, I'm taking care of people at work. I'm taking care of my family members, and I have my own health issues. And when I come home, I'm so exhausted that I just want to treat myself with that cookie or ice cream. And you're telling me that I I should check my cravings. So does anybody resonate with this? So while I was sitting in front of her, I was like, okay, we both have our challenges. So while my patient had the uphill battle of changing her food habits, I had the challenge of how do I undo her lifetime of habits in just this 15 minutes of clinic appointment. And I was clearly able to see that this is not going to happen. And by that time, I was also trained as an epidemiologist. So people go like, epi what? So epi means on, demo means people, and logy is study of diseases on people. So I was also trained how to bring about a change in the population level, not with one person, but how to bring about a change in at the population level. So here I was like with the experience of like how I can bring about a change, but at the same time, I could see that even though we call this as a healthcare system, this is not set up to deliver this life-saving therapy to the patients. So I was like, okay, let us change this model. And it was during that time that I paired up with my husband, who is also a surgeon and lifestyle medicine doctor, to create a model or a program where like I could address both the challenges of the healthcare providers and also address the challenges of healthcare consumers. So I was like, oh, okay. So like, okay, I have this golden program, and people were seeing results. So through this, that's when Gift of Health was born. And through this Gift of Health, like I was able to educate people, empower people, and give the support that they needed to bring about the change. So, but ultimately, like what happened was people were seeing the transformation. They were seeing the changes, and like they were like, okay, I want to do this. But this one patient comes. I believe you. Okay, I know that this is going to change, but I love my foods. I can't give up my favorite foods, and my cravings are too strong. So that's why, like, I always share with my patients, and I actually wanted to share with all of you that are watching today, is like why cravings happen, like, and like what can we do about it? Because like once you understand and overcome those cravings, like beautiful things happen. And I want to tell everyone that this is possible. we do not have to be a victim of our cravings. And I just wanted to share what is that we can do about the craving. So are you guys interested to see how we can overcome our cravings?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Would you mind if I ask one quick question before
Sure, sure.
when you say, do you feel like cravings are emotional, psychological, physiological, maybe a combination depending on the person and the circumstance?
It's everything. Yes, I know, we might want to think that maybe it's one, but it's everything. And I'll just explain in a second, why it's everything. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. So do we have any other further questions before we
That's
proceed?
the only one that I was wondering.
Okay. So okay. So as you can see, like we can definitely turn our cravings into health. But okay, so let me just um, share one thing. Like the type of patients that I see come in a very critical condition. Like I'm talking about as my husband, he's a surgeon. He actually sees people who have to undergo amputation of their leg because of the complications of diabetes. So is it okay if I just share what we see in the hospital? I know this is not to scare you, but I wanted to show the power, what we can do about it. So uh, especially this patient came to me saying that I don't want to give up my favorite foods, so what can I do about it? So especially when he came during that, so I do want to warn, it might be a little bit graphic. So here it's, as you can see, it's a diabetic leg, and this was after debridement. So you can imagine how much difficult it might be to just sit with this patient and go about and say, okay, what we can do about cravings. But but here's what we explained to this person. So when you see what are cravings, so cravings are nothing but compulsive, cyclical, repetitive thoughts. Okay, as you can see, they are cyclical, compulsive, and these thoughts, they can be either about food. This could be about smoking, drinking, or it could be even about being on social media or using your cell phone or addiction to our electronics. You name it. So it could be with anything. It doesn't have to be with food in particular. And when we get that thoughts, and as you can see, they are cyclical and repetitive. So that's and it's not that because there is something wrong with you, because sometimes we feel, oh, maybe I experienced something in the childhood, or I experienced some abuse or trauma. That's why I'm going through all of this, but it has nothing to do with that. So we all get cravings, and these are but cyclical and repetitive thoughts. And when those cravings happen, and when we give into those cravings, for example, let's say if you had a craving about food, or let's say if you wanted to eat chips, and once you see that you cannot stop with one and you finish the whole chip packet, and then what happens? You feel guilty about it. You feel shameful about it. And at the same time, you're like, why did I do this? And after some time, you see that it is damaging your health to the effect that you might also end up losing your limb. But again, this are so compulsive, you want to think, okay, it's okay even if I get my leg cut, but I don't want to give up my favorite foods. And some of you might experience the consequences of giving into this craving. So it can be in the form of weight gain, or you might be experiencing more stress, or you might experience that sense of loss of control over ourself and our life. So technically, what is happening here is like there is a trigger happening. So let's say you see something. So let's say if there is a chocolate packet in our house, so you get the trigger, uh, and then this thought arises, oh my God, it is so good when I have that chocolate. So you have this feelings, and you have these thoughts, I want to have this because it's so good. And you also remember that you remember the dopamine rush because your brain rewarded you for that activity. And when you remember that, you want to take action. And when you eat that chocolate, you actually feel good about it. So that's the reward system. So what you would notice is like it's a cyclical process. Like you get the trigger, and the trigger leads to thoughts, and then based on like those thoughts can also become so strong, and you get the urge to take the action, and after you take the action, you get rewarded, and then it gives you a feedback. This is so good, why don't you finish the whole packet? And as you can see, like it can, I mean, you could just get immersed in this craving cycle. But the good news is, like, you can cut the craving cycle at any stage. Like you can cut off this craving cycle when the trigger is there, and like where you can stop at the thought level, or you can stop at the emotional level, or you can stop at the action level. Okay, so and also, like what you would notice is it's very important for us to identify at what level of cravings we are. For example, and also especially like what I notice in my practice is I find three types of eaters. So I call them, like, one as moderate eater, and the other I call that as emotional eater, and then I call addictive eater. So these are the characteristics. So when this is how a moderate eater behaves. So let's say like they had a party and they see a lot of rich foods, party foods lying around. So they eat it, they have good time, they drink, enjoy with the friends, and then they come home, and next day morning they go like, okay, I had a good time, and now let me get back to my breakfast and salads. That's it. But when it comes to the emotional eater, so they when they eat the same thing, they after going home, they'll, oh boy, that was so good. That chocolate cake was so good. I can't stop thinking about it. Let me, you might even have bought the leftovers from the party. Let me have this for breakfast. Let me finish this. And you cannot leave it until it is finished, until it's not in front of your sight. And then the difference between the emotional and the addictive eater is, so like, even after the chocolate has finished, you go like, I can't stop these thoughts. I I want to get this reward. And even if it's in the middle of the night, you just want to go to the store and buy it. So that's the difference between moderate and emotional and addictive eater. So it's very important for us to identify what level we are. Again, here it's not to judge, because once we know what category we fall into, so the treatment differs. So it's so that's why it's very important for us to identify what level we are in. And sometimes what we will find that for certain foods we might fall into moderate category, and but for certain foods we might find into that emotional category. For example, in our house, if the nuts are lying around, so it doesn't bother me. But for my husband, if the nuts are there, he cannot stop until they're gone. So I have to literally hide from him. But for me, it's the chocolate. If the chocolate is there, like, I cannot stop until it's gone. So So it's important that we identify the foods that create that trigger, and at the same time, like for example, you won't feel like overeating broccoli or other things. So the natural foods don't do it. The foods that do it, which are hypersensitive, which have been modified and processed. So that's the problem. And unfortunately, we are surrounded in an environment that there is so much processed food. So it's very important that we identify like at what level of cravings we are. And also like when it comes to the trigger, it's very, so one is your environment. So whatever you bring home, you eat it. So if you don't want that food, it's better not to put in your shopping cart, not to bring home. It's better to abstain from it. And the other trigger is when your energy levels are low, you will find that your cravings are coming back. And also you feel like when you are experiencing high emotion, it could be during stress or anything, you want to just calm down your emotions with food. So you're typically using food as emotions. So now the thing is, okay, how do we overcome this cravings? And you won't believe this. And as I said, there is nothing wrong with you. It's very important for you to recognize that there is nothing wrong with you. When it comes to cravings, there is a very simple solution. And you guys might like, what? So the only thing that needs to be changed is you change your environment. You set up your environment in a way that you are set up for success. So for example, like if that particular food is making you crave, you don't buy and bring that food into the house. Or even if it's in the house, make sure that it is out of sight and out of mind. And you would be surprised your brain doesn't think about it. If it's out of sight, out of mind, even you don't think about that food. But what happens is even 6 months later, 1 year later, even if you have the sight and smell of the food, you will want to pick it up and eat it, and you cannot stop. And you're amazed, okay, till now I was fine, but why is that now like I'm again getting that tendency to eat? So the foremost and best thing is to not to bring it into your environment. The other thing is to regulate our energy levels, and you can use different means. So either like having enough sleep, getting enough exercise, and having that calm, happy mind helps. And when we disengage and redirect our senses, or listening to music or reading or journaling also helps us to disengage. Technically, like when we learn to cope with stress and emotions in healthy ways rather than using food, that is the best way. So in our Gift of Health community, so a lot of our community members learn how to satisfy the cravings without sabotaging their health. So this patient, as I was showing, like who came with a diabetic leg. So I said, Dr. Shobha, you don't know, I love ice cream. I love chips. And I told him, no problem. I think you didn't hear it clearly. I said, I love ice cream. I said, yeah, it's okay. You don't have to give up your favorite foods. Because here, again, when we learn how to plantify our favorite foods, so whether it is chips, chocolate, when we can use fresh, natural ingredients, healthy ingredients, you can have the same things without sabotaging your health. And I just actually wanted to show like what our Gift of Health community members have done to overcome their cravings. So they learn how to plantify their breakfast or lunch. And so even though they're used to put butter on their toast, or then they learn, okay, like I can, when it comes to their coffee and toast, I can plantify by using plant-based milk, or instead of using butter, I can use applesauce or homemade jam or peanut butter, or I can plantify my cereal without using milk. And here comes the French fries. So again, if you learn how to make the fries in air fryer without using oil, you don't have to give up your favorite foods. And these are all the examples of some of the foods that have been created by our Gift of Health family members. You can see, I mean, whether it is brownies, or whether it is chips, or whether it is popcorn, or whether it is cheese sauce, or whether it is ice cream, and whether it is different kinds of ice cream. It could be cherry ice cream, banana ice cream, or whether it is your Alfredo pasta, or whether it is your cheesecake. So here you can see that like all this on the right side, they have been plantified with healthy plant-based ingredients, and they're whole, like they no oil, no sugar, has been used. So whether it is your pudding, or whether it is your cupcakes, or whether it is your whipped cream, or if you want to plantify your cheese, or if you want to make your cakes, or have any dairy, or sour cream, or tzatziki sauce, or whether it's your ranch dressing, or mayonnaise, or blue cheese dip, or whether you want to replace your dairy without, whether it doesn't matter whether it's, no matter what culture you belong to, whether you want to plantify Thai, Indian, Japanese, Western, Canadian. So you can plantify all your foods, and these are all the creations of our students, whether you want to plantify your cappuccino, or your cheese sauce, or your badam milk. This is very famous, and this is one of my favorite too. And whether it is lasagna, or whether it is nachos and cheese, whether it is yogurt dip, or whether it's yogurt, or whether it is your butter chicken, or whether it is your morning muffins or coffee, or whether it's your milkshake, whether it is your pizza, whether it is your mango lassi, or whether it is your Indian sweets. There are no Indian sweets without ghee clarified butter. So, and whether they are your chocolate nut rolls, or whether they are your favorite, this is like carrot halwa is a favorite Indian dish. So even this, you can end beetroot halwa. So as you can see, like you can plantify everything, even though you crave for it. When you use the healthy ingredients and plantify, you can definitely transform your health. And this is what happened to the patient. So as you can see on the left-hand side, it was so difficult for the wound to heal because of diabetes. But after learning the skills of how to plantify their cravings, you could see like how nicely this leg has healed. Actually, he was referred for amputation. But just because he was able to change his diet and lifestyle, and was able to plantify his cravings, that he was able to actually save his leg. So yeah, so I'll stop there. And if there are any questions or anything, I would be happy to take
Yeah,
them.
let me look right now at the chat. And if you guys have questions, start them with 4 question marks. Well, if you don't mind, I would like to ask you about what you have in the bundle, because you have an amazing product in the bundle. And so if you could tell people about it, if they want to get it from you, I've been putting your unique link in the chat in the show notes, and also what you like about the bundle. But if you guys have any questions about the presentation, Turning Cravings into Health, please also post them as well.
Sure. So as you can see, like most of my patients, they have such serious health conditions, and they say, I don't have time to cook. And like, can you just show me in 5 minutes, like what I can do? Or can you tell me how to plantify my cravings? So I created a course around that. And the beauty of this course is it also makes you addictive, in the sense, just like playing a video game. Like you actually get points for watching the videos and creating those creations, and turning your health around. And a lot of people, they come back to tell me, like, my wife actually forced me to do this course. I didn't, because I love my foods, but I'm so glad that I did it. I was just amazed that I could create all these creations. And it doesn't take more than 5 minutes. So like all the creations, they are, I call them as the 5-minute creation, gift of health, 5-minute creations. So in the bundle, like there is a program where we say love junk food, no problem. You can make all these creations in 5 minutes or less and turn your health around. And coming to the bundle, like this is a one-stop thing. Okay, you want to know how to reverse your chronic conditions with plant-based health? There are courses about it. You want to know how to take care of your gut health? There are courses about it. You want to know how to prevent infection? There are courses about it. You want to know what lab test you want to get done, like if you're on a plant-based diet? There is a PDF for it. You want to know, okay, I want my kids, because they're very picky eaters. How can I get my kids on board? You have a course for it. You want to know, okay, like how can I cook for my company? You have courses for it. You want to learn any culinary classes? There are loads of culinary classes. Not to mention, there are more than 2,000 recipes, and all of these are oil-free and and not much processed food. So it is, and like you want to know how to cook raw live foods. There are so many recipes, and like we want to get free membership with certain courses. You have that. You want to improve your health. You want to improve your fitness, even though you're above 40. There is a course for it. You want to increase your muscle after menopause? There is a course for it. You want to know how to style your food? There is a course for it. So it's a one-stop shop for everything that you want to do about your health. And this is so phenomenal. This is my first time in the bundle, AJ, and I'm so glad I was able to contribute to this bundle, because this bundle is amazing. People can't believe that what you're telling me, it's only $48. Why?
49.
Sorry, 49. Yes. So what you're telling me, it's just $49. And thank you for creating this, AJ, because it is bringing hope to so many people. And I wish I had this type of resources when I started 10 years back. But now, guys, you have it. And it is coming at such a nominal price, and even like it won't be enough for the whole 1 year to consume all the things that are in this bundle. So it's not that you have to become overwhelmed and consume, but you could just pick and choose what you want.
Yeah, and you don't have to consume them within a year.
Yes.
You have to download it within a year.
Download, yes.
You own it forever. Yeah, let's just make this distinction.
Yes.
I agree. This would have been great to have, when I was starting out 47 years ago. Of course, we didn't even have internet 47 years ago. So
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's this is just a question in the chat from Chris. Welcome, Chris. Says, I just started to eat healthy. I'm on day 1 lunch. I have a salad soup. Is it okay to eat 6 fruits in one sitting?
It's okay. As long as it also depends for the entire day. What is that you're having? And it also depends upon like what conditions, if you're having any health conditions. So a lot of factors. If you are diagnosed with anything, that makes the difference. So I'm not sure of your health condition. So
yeah. I'm curious because I have a lot of doctors, medical doctors on the show, psychologists too. But when the topic food addiction comes up, some of them are just like, yeah, it's a thing. And others are like, you shouldn't call it that, because if you can't die from the withdrawal, it's not an addiction. How does food addiction, if you believe in it, pertain to cravings?
Pertain to cravings?
Yeah. I mean, do you believe in food addiction as an entity?
The food addiction is real, AJ.
Well, I believe it. It's just that some of the doctors tell me I shouldn't be saying that. So I'm just curious what you think.
No, it is real. Like food addiction is real, and not all of us are wired in the same way. Some of us can just eat a piece of chocolate and stop there, whereas some of us can stop. Again, here when it comes to addiction, what makes the difference is if that particular addiction, for example, you could be also be addicted to gambling, or you could be also addicted to internet. But only because you're not seeing the consequences, it doesn't mean that it is not harmful or it is not addictive. We get punished for if we are addicted to food because it's quite visible. Either you gain weight or like you experience a lot of health issues, so it is quite visible, and we are judged for it. But some people are addicted to work and they think it's a good thing. Or so it also depends what you are addicted. So the object of addictiveness makes a difference as well.
Thank you. Okay. Here. Thank you, Ryan. I understand the question now. How long do you have to sign up after you get the bundle to take the class after you sign up?
So after you sign up, after you take the bundle, you have you can sign up anytime as long as you download the bundle, as Chef AJ said, within 1 year, because you have 1 year to download the bundle. But after you have downloaded, you can sign up anytime. There's no time restriction.
Thank you. Thank you for, yeah. And that's what we try to get that, Ryan. We don't want to have a product that has an expiration date. So, yeah, great question. Here's a question on arteries from Johnny. Doctor, do you believe that PUFAs and MUFAs, maybe you can say what those are, can actually remove saturated fat from the arteries?
So it's actually what the question is, polyunsaturated fatty acids and monounsaturated fatty acids. So like can those help remove the blockages of the arteries? So you would be surprised. So there is one slide that Dr. Esselstyn shows, like where the arteries were blocked on the left-hand side, but 3 months later, after being on plant-based diet, the blockages were removed. Yes, it is possible to have our blockages decreased. Like I'm not saying that there might be complete reversal of it, but it is possible to get those blockages reduced if when you transition to plant-based diet and low-fat diet. So again, depending on your condition, so even in plant-based diet, there are different categories, like how you can consume your whole food plant-based diet.
Thank you. Okay. With the doctor's class, can I go back over and over the classes to watch them?
Oh, yes, you can go back. After you finish the course, that is for you to keep for lifetime. So obviously in that course we talk about cravings and how to overcome cravings, and you learn to actually make a lot of things. You're asked what are the foods you crave for, and you actually get to learn how to create the foods that you crave for. Yes, you can go back as many number of times you want.
Thank you. Did you think that this is something that people have historically always struggled with, or is it just since really that processed food became so prevalent with the heavy addition of sugar, fat, and salt?
Yes, because I would say because the processed food has become so prevalent. Because I remember as a child, I was surprised to see that my grandparents were very healthy. So they were farmers living in a village with not much access, even not much access to the roads, and not many vehicles could even come in. And they led a happy life, like farming, and they led very healthy lives as well. But at the same time, I would see my friends' grandparents. It was not the same scenario. They would be either on bed or they're gone by the time. And I was always curious to think, why are my grandparents healthy and still alive while my friends' grandparents are not there? And I was able to see clearly because that village did not have access to processed food. They had to just harvest the grains or whatever they were growing, whether it's vegetable, and just have the foods that are available in nature. So like I didn't see anybody with addiction then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in India, where you live, is processed food like, I mean, what are people buying in terms of processed food? Like, is it like here, chips and soda and candy?
Oh my God, Chef AJ, it has become so westernized. Yes, you name it. There are KFCs, McDonald's, pizza place, chips, and Indian food is so addictive because everything is deep fried in oil. So there, there is nothing you cannot find without oil. Sometimes I say vegetables are floating on the oil, and even if it is vegetarian food, so even like no meat is used, obviously dairy is used, the foods are so tasty and addictive, and you can stop. So everything is fried, whether a grain is fried, bean is fried. We also fry our breads, which we call as puris. At least here, people bake their breads, but we fry our breads and eat it. So yes, lot of processed food.
Well, speaking of Indian food, are you North Indian or South Indian?
I'm South Indian. Yeah.
Okay, but do you still ever enjoy North Indian food?
Oh yes, like I enjoy cuisine from every part of India. I do cook North Indian dishes, South Indian dishes, even Western and Eastern. Yes, like Indian food is my favorite.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
yes, yeah,
The
yeah.
reason I say it's because in the bundle, there is the most spectacular North Indian cookbook from Amy from Broccoli Mom. She wrote it with her sister-in-law, who is Indian, and we've been cooking from it all week. I mean, the food is just spectacular. So, I mean, that's just
Yes,
another thing that's in the bundle that almost cost $40 when she was selling it anyway, and she will sell it for that. That's
yeah,
why I put it up. Yep.
yes,
Oh
yes,
my God, it's
yeah.
so good. And we
Yeah.
have neighbors that are Indian and they make just, oh my God, is it the idli that I love? I think that's what
Yes, yeah, Italy, you're right.
oh God.
The steamed dumplings. Oh my God.
I
Yes.
mean, they just make them and then they give us the chutney and it's like, oh my God, it's just like, I mean, I wish you could get healthy Indian food just like you can other food, which
But
is,
the thing is, that's possible, AJ, because that's what I teach my patients and participants. So, like, if they are from Indian culture background, so they get to learn how to cook Indian food in healthy manner without using oil. Because yes, Indian food also is rich in flavors, and we do use a lot of vegetables. And so it is good, like when we know like how to cook it without oil. So yes, you can definitely make healthy Indian food, and that's what I have at home. So I cook Indian food and have Indian food on a daily basis.
yeah, I meant like if you could get it out. Of course, I meant like it would be fun if you could go to a restaurant that would do Indian food without oil.
Yes, yes. Oh my
Okay.
God, that would be so golden.
Be a
Yeah,
dream come true. There's a
yeah.
question from Johnny. Can whole fruit cause tooth decay?
So again, here, like a lot of factors, a lot of health conditions based on like how your immunity is, even coming to like having a fruit is good, but even after eating the fruit, how are you maintaining your teeth and gum health? Like, are you uh, flossing, or are you brushing or flossing like before going to bed, or you're just is it just staying overnight? So all these factors also depends. But if you want to say, does fruit per se cause the decay? Like I haven't seen any studies indicating that like fruits would cause tooth decay.
Thank you. Now, here's a question right on the topic that we're talking about from Donna. And she says, I can follow an SOS-free whole food plant-based diet all day, but the cravings hit me hard after the sun goes down. Do you have any suggestions on how to stop the nighttime cravings?
Excellent, because a lot of people, one thing is, why are you experiencing the craving when the sun goes down? So one is, it is during that time your energy is dipping, and also you are not distracted from anything else in the morning, like you are either working or doing your chores and other things. And also during morning you don't get cravings because your energy levels are up. As your energy levels are going down, you want something to pick me up. So you are craving things. So one thing to understand is you can definitely have things at home which you have plantified. So I know, like, even there is a fruit at home, you won't feel like going for it. You want to have something calorie dense. And so when those evening cravings come up, so one good thing is identifying when those cravings are coming. The second thing is how I can change my environment, because when that is happening, how can I change my trigger? Or how can I replace that with healthy plant-based foods so that I don't feel guilty about it? So whatever you're craving for, like whether it is chips, popcorn, what you can do is you can, in this course, you can definitely learn how to prepare them and have those in your house. Instead of having those store-bought chips, popcorn, have this. And one is you would be satisfied that you're satisfying your cravings and not sabotaging your health.
Yep. Well, you know what I say, doctor, if it's in your house, it's in your mouth.
Yes.
I agree with your husband about nuts. I cannot have those around. They're just, most foods just don't call to me, but anything high in the high fat realm, I just cannot seem to moderate very well.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay, here's a funny question. How long does the 5-day course take?
It actually takes 5 days or less. You won't believe it, because as I said, people actually go on binge watching mode because they cannot stop it. So a lot of people, what they told me, oh my God, this is so addictive. Like, I can't stop watching. And some of them, they finish it in 2 days because they find it so interesting. So yes, the 5-day course takes 5 days or less.
That's funny. In addition to this course that you're offering through the bundle, what else do you and your husband do? Where do you work with people? How do you work with people? Is it in person in India? Is it virtually? Tell us a little bit about everything else you do.
Definitely. So, like, my husband, he works in the hospital, but like, I came out of that hospital settings, as I was mentioning, because the model I saw, it was not fitting. That's why we created this gift of health model, so that we can help people change their lifestyle habits so that they can they can experience freedom from disabling diseases, get off medication treadmill, have more energy. So we developed programs. Earlier, we used to do in-person programs. Then after COVID hit, what we did is we created online programs. So we created a 6-week online program where we take from where you are and we guide you, we teach you about how your body works, how your mind works, like what to eat, what not to eat, and also empower you with the skills: how to cook, how to read a nutrition label, like how to deal with cravings, how to deal with social situation, how to eat when you're outside. And then you also get a supportive environment to make this change. And just over the 6-week period, people are amazed that they are able to cut down on their blood pressure medications, or their cholesterol is coming down, their blood sugar numbers are coming down. So that is a 6-week program. But what I found was that 6-week program was not enough. That 6-week program is addressing about the food, but when it comes to health, it's not only about food. It's also about exercise. How are you avoiding stress? How are you managing your sleep? How are you making your social connections or having meaningful relationship? So then we developed 1-year course, and especially for people who are also having emotional eating issues. So what we found is that 1-year course actually helps them to work steadily towards establishing the habits that sabotage their health. And we address all areas, like we address physical exercise and all the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine. So we have short programs, we have long-term programs. We also have like one-on-ones. You guys can take appointments like on our website. You can get one-on-one consultation with us. So we do online consultation as well, and obviously for my husband, like he works in the hospital here, and he sees people here in the hospital. So both the options are available.
Thank you. Do you help people? Oh, wait, this is, I don't think, I'll ask it, but from Everil, do you help people do a living will so that we set up our lifestyle documented for the rest of our lives? That way helpers are not forcing us to eat as per what is convenient for them. Not sure.
Yes.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the goal of our programs is to help you lead a healthy life.
Yeah. Johnny says it's an ultra low fat diet, good, fewer than 10 grams of fat a day. I mean, unless you're just eating fruit, I don't think you can get lower than 10 grams of fat a day, because people don't even realize that greens have fat. I mean, oats have fat. I mean,
grains have, yeah.
With the exception of fruit, and I think fruit has trace grams. I think unless you're just a fruitarian, vegetables, starches, have fat.
Yes.
Yep. I'm looking through your video and I can't find a video that teaches about meeting protein needs. Where can I go to learn that? Asks Chris.
So I'm sorry, which video is Chris talking about?
Chris, can you type in the chat where you're looking, and then we'd be happy to follow up a question.
Because there is no protein video, especially if it's talking about the course that is in the bundle. There is no protein video in it. So it's about cravings and how to master your cravings without sabotaging your health.
Right. But it's possible that there is a course about protein in the bundle, but with over 150 items, I've downloaded them all. It took me about 30 minutes, but I haven't looked at them all. What do you and your husband eat the same thing every day, or do you guys eat different things? And I'd love to know what you do eat in a day.
Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, we do eat a variety of foods, but like most of the day, it's I would say we either change the vegetable, or for example, when it comes to breakfast, I call this as a 5-minute breakfast system, where I use a grain, plant-based milk, fruits, I add chia seeds and flax seeds, and I add a flavorings, which could be like either pumpkin pie spice, cinnamon, or cardamom. So this whole grain, it could be oat groats, it could be teff, it could be amaranth. So I just switch the grain, but it's the same thing. So I do this 5-minute breakfast system, but it's like I just switch the grain and switch the different kinds of fruits. So that's the breakfast. And like when it comes to lunches and supper, again, like we use a lot of again, whole grains, vegetables, greens, legumes, nuts and seeds, and make nice sauces. So again, like every day we make a lot of fresh salad, which includes all different kinds of vegetables, greens. So it could be ranging from romaine or kale, different types of spinach, different types of greens, and I add different vegetables, rainbow color vegetables. And so beside the salad, we have cooked food. So I make nice curries using our Indian spices. So it could be nice creamy curry using different vegetables, or it could be nice creamy curry with either chickpea curry or kidney bean curry. So use different types of beans and vegetables, and have a cooked grain. It could be brown rice or quinoa. And so like we have a combination of rice, lentil, vegetable, and the salad. So it's the same thing, but like by changing the vegetable, by changing the green, by changing the grain, it just changes the dish.
Nice. Thank you. Here's a question again about protein. And let's see. Are plant proteins healthful? Asks Johnny. And should we limit all protein?
Oh my God, plants are the only things on this planet that can produce the amino acids. Even like animals and humans can produce all the essential amino acids. That's why we are taking it from the plants or foods to get the remaining essential amino acids that our body cannot produce. So plants have all the amino acids that you need for the body. I know there is a big misconception thinking that plant proteins are not complete or they don't contain all the essential amino acids, but that is a myth that has, I know that has been busted long time ago, but people still wonder if plants have complete proteins. Yes, the best protein that you can get is from plants because they don't come with saturated fat. They don't come with cholesterol. They don't come with bad things. They actually are rich in fiber, phytooxidants, antioxidants, phytochemicals, which are, I mean, it's boosting your health. It's preventing diseases. So that's the best protein source you can have.
Fantastic. Lee says she joined late. If you could please say again what the product you have in the bundle is.
So it's called Love Junk Food, no problem. So actually that course helps you how to overcome your cravings and eat without sabotaging your health.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being in the bundle. And I appreciate you coming on the show to tell about your wonderful course. I have downloaded it, but I'll be honest, I haven't started it yet, but it sounds like a good one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So did you ever get to the United States?
Oh yes, yeah. Like I have a lot of friends in US, so we also attend this American College of Lifestyle and Medicine conference, and I get to see a lot of my colleagues and friends. So it's a fun time. Yes, I do travel to US.
Nice. Well, if you're ever in Northern California, come say hello, and
Yeah.
we'll make some idli together.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Shobha, and thanks all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Go have a nice lunch and come back in 1 hour for Nate Maris. He wrote an amazing book from the bundle, a brand new Ninja Creamy book. Take care, everyone.